will. Okay. You ready? Okay. So I asked you to choose a song to send out to people as part of the devotion for January 30th. So what song did you choose?
I chose His Eyes on the Sparrow, and it's probably one that everybody's familiar with. Um, I don't sing it very well, and my voice is pretty rotten right now. But it spoke to me of everything that's going on in my life right now, and the fact that probably 20 years ago, we never thought that God would be able to make things right for me enough that in these circumstances that I would be happy. So, um, anything particular, Patty, you want me to tell?
Is there particular verses of the song that particularly speak with you?
Oh, just there's a statement, you know, it always, they start out with, why should I feel this way? Why should I feel discouraged? Why should I feel sad? Why should I feel lonely? And all of those. And I guess the combination of those, because, you know, I can't get out among people, so I haven't been to a store, the grocery store, or Walmart, which may be a blessing. Any place like that, or to meet with my friends, or to whatever, for 5 years now. And you know, loneliness is a reality in everybody's life. So, but He's given me peace about it, and I have wonderful friends that come and see me, like right now. But there's people who are praying for me, and I know they are. The reunion group is my stay. I know they pray for me every week, and I know that you're sharing this with them. But this is me telling that I miss you. But the whole, you know, there's one verse that talks about losing hope. And I think the phrase is, when the hope within me dies, that and the next line is that I draw Him closer to me in that circumstance, and He takes the cares, and then the feelings that are negative, He turns them into a joy or a blessing. And there's always that. And I think that the scripture, of course, everybody's familiar with that too, about the birds of the fields, the flowers of the fields. You know, He dresses the flowers of the field, and they're never anything but beautiful. And the birds, I think, you know, they sold the sparrows in the marketplace, or they sold the birds in the marketplace for the sacrifice. And there's, you know, a little bit of money they pay for it, and so the birds had a purpose. But God took care of the birds. They wouldn't exist without God. There's none of that would exist without God. And He takes care of His own. He takes care of what is important to Him. And aren't we more important than the flowers of the field or the birds in the air? And of course, He's going to see us in our worst. And so, the song for me right now, with all the stuff, the erosion and stuff up in my nasal area and everything, I don't sing well. So,
But you sing from the heart.
I sing from the heart. And this is for my sweet reunion group.
And I have to ask you a few other questions. Tell them about your grandmother.
Well, the song's base is the lyricist in 1905 wrote this song. She and her husband had befriended a couple, and they had been spending a lot of time with them. And this is in Patty's, New York, and Dave's, New York, so state of New York. But the couple, the woman was an invalid. For 20 years she had been bedridden. And come on, little Laurel. Come on, sweetie. For 20 years she'd been bedridden. And for the husband was in a wheelchair. And he went to work in a wheelchair. He was wheelchair bound. But they had so much fun with that couple. They laughed. They never saw them having any pity for themselves or for, they just didn't see them kind of giving up. And so that's the basis behind the song. But my grandmother, when I was little, Miss Laurel's my shadow. She runs to me when she gets here, and she stays by my side. And that means so much to me. Well, I was that way with my grandmother. And I went to church with her. My parents didn't go to church, but I went to church with her, you know, when we stayed there. And she loved that song. She would tear up when they sang it. Any time that she heard it, she would tear up. And so I never understood why, but now I do. I do. And this is for her. That, yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows fall? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. For His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on that sparrow, and I know He watches over me. Whenever I am tempted, whenever clouds may rise, when song gives way to sorrow, and sigh when hope within me dies, I draw the closer to Him. From care He sets me free. His eye is on that sparrow, and I know He watches over me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. Let not your heart be troubled. His tender word I hear, and resting on that goodness, I lose my doubt and my fear. Though by the path He leadeth, but one step I may see. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because watches over me. Thank you guys so much for who you are to me. I love you.